like now the group that I hang around, they're professionals, right? I hardly speak to students as much as I did, right? Or so the activities that we now plan are quite different, and it's rare and few in between because most people are quite busy. So most times I'm by myself, so I don't really feel as connected to the foreign community now that I'm working.
I see. Wow, that's very interesting. You are someone who likes to go out in the town, if I remember correctly. So you do make it out now to I would say the word club is right. Yes, at least sometimes.
Once in a while, not as frequently as I did as a student.
Wow.
But yeah, once in a while.
You're listening to The Bridge.
You studied medicine in China, and everyone knows in China that China is a huge, Chinese folks are huge fans of traditional Chinese medicine, as are people in Los Angeles and around the world even. Could you tell us, was that part of your program? You learned, I would say, the word modern science and modern medicine, but you also learned traditional Chinese medicine as well, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. That was one of our electives, and that's the one I chose to take because I was being here. I was very interested in alternative ways of healing. Because even though, and I think it definitely affected just my general thinking now as a doctor, because I don't immediately go for, you would say, Western medicine. Because I'm like, it's great, but then have you tried this?
Right. We could cut you open, or we could give you this tea. You want to try the tea first, maybe?
I remember I was having severe pain at the base of my spine, and I went to acupuncture, and it worked wonders.
Wow.
I was like, this is really cool. So I got more into it, and I studied a bit more, looking at the different teas, and just going to university and having access to doctors who have so much years of experience in that field was really good.
You know, I had a similar experience where I cracked a disc in my cervical spine, part of my spine. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And I went to a Western doctor in Wuhan, and the gentleman said, you need to have surgery right away, and there's no alternative. So I was actually fraught by this. I was almost going to cry. I think I may have cried. I don't remember exactly. But then my wife was like, let's go to this, Wuhan has one of the best traditional Chinese medicine hospitals in the world. Let's go there. So I was like, okay. I went there, and they gave me traditional Chinese medicine treatment and Western medicine. They gave me a steroid injection into this little, I don't know what it's called. It's where the disc has slipped out. And the combination of all of this, and, I don't know what actually fixed it, but I'm okay now. And I did not need to have this really invasive surgery where they wanted to basically open my neck up to get in there and do stuff. And I'm very, very grateful that there was this alternative that, it's been a year since that happened, and I'm still okay. So I guess I'm going to be okay at least for a while, maybe. I don't know, maybe it'll come back when I'm elderly or something. But for at least this time being, I don't have to have any really invasive, crazy surgery. And so I'm really grateful personally for that. Could you tell what is traditional Chinese medicine? Because there's a lot of different types of it. There's herbs, and then there's also acupuncture, and then what else is there?
For traditional Chinese medicine?
Yeah. What kind of varieties of traditional Chinese medicine are the big, pillars of what comprises it?
I would say it would range from, as you said, the herbs to the acupuncture side of it. It also can consist of salves or bombs using fire to balance
cupping.
Fire cupping. Did you do that?
I did one time, but it came with a different unpleasant experience at the end of it. But the cupping part seemed fine.
So it's all just using different methods just to balance that yin yang, the qi, as you'd say. If anyone has done it, more traditional Chinese massages, those are very different from a Thai massage or Western Thai massage, right? To help alleviate a wide range of symptoms. So they tend to use the basic elements such as wood and fire, earth, metal, and water, all used in different ways to heal all parts of our bodies.
Wow, that sounds really mystic to me. Okay, so I want to ask you a different question. You lived in Wuhan for a long time.
Yeah.
You also lived in Wuhan at the height of the discovery of COVID-19. So what was life like as a foreigner? What was life like? You were also contacts in the medical community. Could you tell us a little bit about maybe how the medical community was responding, all that kind of thing.
Okay. When we first heard about it, I was supposed to travel. Then they're like, "Oh, don't travel." Then I woke up and there was this day of travel Wuhan shut down. That's when we were closed. I was like, "Okay, cool." I was fine because I'm like, I have food at home. I'm good. So we were closed. Checked my phone. Different messages like in the professional group for the hospital. Like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. But in the beginning, no one knew what to do. No one knew what the proper response. Like, my coworkers at the time who were outside of Wuhan, right, or who were not in their homes because their communities got shut down immediately. Who were not in their homes, who were on call at the hospital. They were like, okay, can I go home? What are we supposed to do? There were a lot of things that we just could not answer in the beginning. But as time progressed, we got more organized and like, okay, who lives the closest to the hospital could easily go in to offer assistance. If you didn't, how could you help within your own community? And being connected with your community manager, who organized different volunteer groups, definitely helps to keep things more organized and to help everyone through it. For me, I tried to help as much as possible, like mainly within my building, because buildings within my community they were closed for the most part. Yeah, I tried to help within my building. Like there were a few elderly, like if there wasn't a volunteer available, I tried to help. I had access to a wide range of, a larger supply of like water and things. I'm like, okay, I live by myself. So I'm like, okay, I don't need this. I messaged my community manager like, hey, I have a whole bunch of these eggs and water. Does anyone need? Right? Like, okay, here you go. So I appreciated where I lived at the time because I felt like everyone could pitch in where they could to help get through the time.
How long was the actual? Because when I was in Beijing, we locked down. It was probably 6 weeks where it was 4 to 6 weeks where it was fully locked down, and where I was, and then it was like you can go out for very good reasons, and then it was like a couple weeks later, it was like, okay, you can go out as long as you have a negative code, and then it was like open to people who were getting tested regularly. So slowly opening up. How long was the lockdown in Wuhan?
76 days, I think it was.
Wow. So that's
3 months, yeah.
Yeah, almost 3 months, yeah. So 2.5, 3 months, it was pretty much complete lockdown until they had systems in place for dealing with everything, and people were getting tested regularly. So how often? Because in Beijing, I think we were tested. We were not tested every day. We were tested about once a week or twice a week sometimes. What was the testing like?
The testing went okay, but it was a bit slow for foreigners, I would say, because we did not get our codes that we would need to scan until right. So when and then I think foreigners also took the longest to really come out into when everything was finally open and testing was now more regulated. Like we had to be tested to go outside, right, or to take any form of public transport.
Right.
So after getting the code and then when we go to testing centers, not everyone is used to long foreign names. I had that complaint so many times. Oh, your name's so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, right? So, but people were patient. I would say people were patient, and we took the time. Okay, we're all here together, so I was able to get what I needed to do to go outside. But it took me a while to go outside because I was like, no, I didn't need to, so I didn't go outside.
So that was you're like, yay, I'm home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome to My Stories of Chinese Characters, Season 2. I'm Uncle Hans. This season, we will travel to different destinations and experience the different scenery throughout the year. This season, we will taste delicious food.
Delicious, how sure?
Feel the delicacy of Chinese silk. Some people say that this is the world's first computer, because each one of these contains instructions, and enjoy the local architecture.
Yes, it's a big house.
We will feel a sense of camaraderie on this slow train. Feel the excitement of the snowfield. I'm Uncle Hans. This season, we will take you to see a different China from the perspective of Chinese and other major podcast platforms, or on our website, radio.cgtn.com.
You're listening to The Bridge.
Okay, so I want to go back to university a little bit, because, again, I think for myself and for the people I talk to, the question is constantly coming up about moving to China. So you moved to China. Like, a lot of people, they don't move from mom's hometown, so that's kind of a huge jump. Do you think that you were especially well adapted to it because you were able to survive for so long in a country on the other side of the world? And for people who are considering moving to another country, whether it be China or somewhere else, what kind of advice would you give them about making such a huge jump?
I was very well adapted to it because I was always like, I'm the oldest of three girls, and so I was always very responsible, and I learned at an early age that I could do anything by myself, right? So moving to so far, although it was scary, I was very open to the adventure, and I knew the challenges that I might face. The main one, obviously, language. I do not speak any Chinese, but I was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I organized everything as much as possible. So knowing the culture, doing your own research before you move somewhere definitely helps me, I think.
So for people who are going to move, you would recommend that they learn some basic Chinese minimum?
Basic Chinese, yeah.
So they should know a few hundred words.
Yeah. Or just like, if you don't, have it written down, because that's one of the things I had. When I first came, I had to make sure my university address was written down, the contact number and the person I had it printed. I didn't rely on my phone because, of course, at the time I moved, it wasn't so easy to access like Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Especially in Wuhan, it's a lot easier. But when I first came to Wuhan, it's like, yeah, no.
So when you arrived as a student going to university, were there people there to help you do things like figure out how to pay the power or set up your Wi-Fi or, I don't know, what other kind of things? Pay your water bill or that kind of thing?
Internet, your student card, your ID.
Did you have to figure this out by yourself, or did you have like some person, a friend that you made, or like someone set up by the university to kind of guide you?
I had to figure most of it out myself. Because there were a lot of mistakes that were made. Like, go through this room. Like, no, you're not supposed to be here. No. And like sometimes